Factor Podcast. Okay, so one thing I wanted to talk about, I've been dying to talk about it actually, is, bump my mic, is the transfer portal. People are really mad about the way the transfer portal has been used. People are mad that kids like Chris Gray and Chase Scanlon, big name kids that have had success where they initially went to school, Gray went to Boston U and Scanlon Loyola. People are mad that they're taking advantage of their success at the schools they first chose and then using that success to jump ship to scenarios where they think the pasture is greener. And in both cases, I would say the pasture kind of is greener. In Gray's case, he goes from Boston U, which is an excellent school, a good lacrosse school, to North Carolina, which is an incredible school and also an incredible lacrosse school playing in a huge conference. So, I mean, academically, it made sense for him apparently. And from just a player of the year standpoint, everyone says these are college kids. They shouldn't be considering being player of the year, blah, blah, blah. That's bullshit. I'm not saying it should be their main consideration, but if it is, who cares? And to say that Chris Gray doesn't have a better shot at the Tualatin playing in the ACC over playing for Boston U, you're crazy. He definitely has a better shot being in the spotlight of the ACC, playing for a team like North Carolina that's won a national championship recently, and they have a huge recruiting. They had a big recruiting class come in this year, and they have another good recruiting class coming in. He's got a better shot at the Tualatin and at just being honored with all sorts of awards playing at UNC. And for Scanlon, that's kind of similar. You know, Syracuse is going to get more primetime games than Loyola. Scanlon gets to rock the number 22. From what I understand, he possibly got a full ride through one of the programs that Syracuse had for native-born players. So I just don't get the anger that so many people have showed, as if these kids owe these schools something, as if the 2 years that Gray played for Boston U, that wasn't his compensation. Or what I should say is Chris Gray was given compensation for playing lacrosse there. He's not square now. He's played his 2 years. He tore it up for Boston U. He's not square. He owes them something still, even though he's probably not getting a full ride. If he is getting a full ride, I bet you there's some academics worked into it, so he's earning some of it externally from lacrosse. Anyway, I feel like Chris Gray is square. Chase Scanlon tore it up at Loyola as a freshman. Whatever they gave him as compensation to go to school there and to play, square. And I think that's the case for all of these kids, especially kids that aren't as big named, that may not get quite as much help in getting them into the school, because, you know, obviously you got to consider a great deal. A kid like Chase Scanlon, who was an All-American as a freshman, you got to consider a great deal what you're going to try to do to sway Chris Gray into coming to UNC. So I don't get the outrage. I do understand that people want especially old school. I'm old school. I understand loyalty and having loyalty, but this is not a loyal business. These schools are not necessarily loyal to these kids. Coaches jump ship all the time, and you don't hear people complaining about the coaches jumping ship. So why should it be any different for the players? And I just don't get it. So that's just my 2 cents. I'm cool with this. I feel that there will be scenarios where kids are abusing the privilege of the transfer portal and these slack rules, where pretty much if you're not happy, you can bolt and all of that. I think that there will be kids that are going to abuse that privilege and abuse that system, but I also think that there's going to be just as many kids that are going to use it effectively to better their lives, to get a better education, to find a better place to play, just a place that they fit in more. I mean, who knows all of the reasons that go into these kids making this decision, but they're kids, and I think people think they make these decisions lightly, but when it has to do with your life and you're 18, that's all you got. You know, you're 18 to 20-year-old kid, every decision you make feels like the most important decision you've ever made, because it is. You know, you haven't experienced a lot of crap yet, so you do have to experience making decisions, sometimes good ones, sometimes bad ones, but I am cool with kids jumping ship, and I hope. I'm not trying to say that people who are upset have it wrong. I'm not trying to draw that line in the sand. I'm just hoping that people will understand that you play a year, you're even, you're square. Play another year, you're square. And if these kids decide there's greener pastures to be had somewhere else, or there's a better lunch to be eaten, then by golly, I think they should take that chance.